I think Ethan's starting to realize the after effects of his crash out and is dying for his audience back. And what do I mean by that? Well, he posted an apology for something he said a while back, and I think it's just an attempt to gain his audience back. Let's watch it and talk about it.
I came back to TikTok to defend myself against wild accusations, but I also came back
I don't mean to pause so soon, but to defend himself against allegations. What he means by that is that he's dying to get his audience back, but also his pockets must be hurting just a little bit. Just a little bit.
because I want to apologize for things that I genuinely got wrong. For example,
we're planning to go to Israel in June with my parents, and I'm actually really excited to go there. I want to show you guys how beautiful, how
Ethan has done way too many things at this point to just post this and get people back. I do think this is going to work on some of the fallen H3 fans. They might see this and go, oh, he realized his mistake, and then watch H3 again. So it might work on some, but Ethan has spent an insane amount of time trying to deplatform, trying to take the money of pro-Palestinian women and creators online over the course of since post-October 7th. It's been a wild crash out he's been going through. And I really haven't spoke on this subject much because it's just like an embarrassment to see. I was once someone who watched H3, and it's just been this like horrendous thing that I just have to tune out of. I'm like, he has changed, and he is a terrible person now. But again, this potentially might work. Let's see what else he had to say.
Like cultural, how like free it feels for people, or just, it's a beautiful place. It is. It's one of the most diverse places I've ever been.
looking back, I definitely feel ashamed for the way I spoke about Israel with such levity at the time that a genocide was happening. I completely understand why people could watch this clip and judge me harshly for it. I want to apologize to anyone.
You know, it's crazy that he's just doing this for this clip. Like, this is not doing anything. Like, you can even go in the comments. Look at this person. This person, like, put this little emote here. Someone said, oh, brother, this guy stinks. Someone even said the same thing I did. His pockets must be hurting. Seems like Hassan was right, eh? And that's the funniest part, is that he's never going to admit that Hassan was right with this. He's just going to say, oh, I did my apology, and, you know, now I'm clear of that. And it's like, why don't you apologize for the rest of the things that you've been doing, right? Like, even someone right here said, you have much more to apologize for. They'll never make me hate Ethan Klien. Accountability. See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's going to snipe a few people that are going to be back on board. Also, don't you find it a little surprising that, like, a chunk of the H3 crew, since his crash out, has left? Like, for instance, Olivia is on a quote-unquote mental health break right now. I suspect she's probably going to leave the show after that. Like, I can imagine Olivia's getting just a ton of DMs right now, even being like, girl, you don't need to go back to the show. Or even when she's on, I'm sure she gets the brute end of DMs and stuff. And it's probably terrible, all because of how Ethan is behaving. And I don't think this video right here will even, like, cause that to solve itself at all either. Like, she's still going to face the brute end of his actions. Also, there's a lot of back and forth going on the internet with AB as a result of Ethan's actions. Because, like, first, this all started with Ethan. Then it turned into everyone else, like, you know, kind of chirping at the other people on H3 saying, hey, you guys are being complicit with what Ethan's saying, even though some of the other things you've been saying, like, I'm talking about AB here, don't quite line up with what Ethan's saying. Like, what the fuck? You got, you know, get off the show. What's going on here? And then he also has been on his, like, Hassan stalking campaign, where he just nonstop is, like, talking about Hassan, and he's got, like, pretty sure someone on the show who's, like, a Hassan stalker that just feeds him the Hassan clips, and the show's just becoming really whack. It's not the same fun that it used to be. I'm sure, like, Olivia doesn't even talk 1/8 the amount she used to when I used to watch. So
in the Palestinian diaspora or anybody that's been affected by this war that felt that I
no, he didn't just say war. I feel like I'm being, oh my goodness, put into an alternate universe right now. What the hell is he calling this a war for? It's a genocide. Can you say genocide, Ethan? This is not a war. Oh my God. And there's people that watch this and they go, yep, war. A war is different than a genocide. Okay?
was trivializing the suffering, the horror that you've gone through. And for that, I deeply am sorry, and I'm ashamed of this clip.
You're ashamed of this clip, but also, why don't you, while you're at it, go apologize and end your lawsuit against, I don't know, Frogan, against Denims, against Casey Tron, and maybe don't try to rob them of every cent they have, as they're much smaller creators than someone like yourself, and you could just, not do that. And maybe if he did do that, I suspect he would maybe gain his audience back. But maybe, if I'm being nice, I don't think this is the case, but if I'm being a little bit charitable here, I think he could go back and look at his actions and maybe make a giant apology video going through every single thing that he's done, and maybe that would turn over more people for him, perhaps, and maybe people would see him in a little bit of a different light. But I think his actions are just have been too strong in order for his audience to want to come back and be like, yeah, we got you. But again, like I said, some of them are like this. They'll never make me hate you, Ethan Klein. Some of them, I think, might just be too young and maybe don't quite understand the levity of what he's doing. Look, someone said, why do you keep saying it's a war? It's not a war. Ethan Klein is the best. Holy damage control. Yeah, it's even the whole Reddit situation with Ethan, the Reddit account they dug up of his, that was another gross thing. And he's had a gross past. It's just been a god-awful time in the land of H3. And quite honestly, I want to see this all come to a close, but I know that it's hurting his pockets, also precisely because he's been cutting up regular YouTube videos on the H3 podcast channel, which they used to only post podcasts, but the views have dropped off on the H3. This is not just my own sentiment. You can go on the website where they show the YouTube viewer stats and search H3 podcast and look at that for yourself. The views have dramatically dropped off, and I think it's well deserved. And he's not gonna, this one little clip here is not gonna make everyone look at him like he's a saint again. Okay, so yeah, just wanted to talk about that situation with this clip. And yeah, hit that subscribe button if you're new here. If you want some internet news and drama, I also tend to stream around 9 p.m. Central a couple of nights of the week. So if you want to join the stream, come hang out. Welcome to do that. You can check out my other streams in the VODs. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.